My microphone? I've had microphone problems recently. Hide that, hide this. Okay, great. Now we're back online. Woohoo! Oh, was Garrett on? Yeah, I'm not sure either. Garrett, can you hear me now? Nothing. I got nothing from him. It's not there. Hopefully he comes back on soon. Poor guy. Okay, so what we've done is we've run this code and we're open this website. So let's do a couple more steps here. Ready? Now that the website's open, here's what I want to do. I want to put a search term right here in this field. So I'm going to come to this field. I'm going to right click on this field and I'm going to click on inspect. And that is going to help me identify what the name of this field is. I need to know the name or ID or class of this field. So again, I'm going to come here. I'm going to right click on that field, click inspect. And it's going to take me over here. There's a little highlighted field over to the right. And when I mouse over this, that field turns blue. Or it did right there. And so this is the HTML page. And it's telling me, in this case, there's an ID right here for that field, and like an ID name. And there's also a name field. I prefer to use IDs as recognizing different fields because IDs are usually unique, right? There's no two fields on the page that have the same ID. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this ID XX4UFF. Do you guys have that? Anybody have a different number? And again, what I did is I right clicked on this field and I went to inspect and it took me right there in the HTML. And I'm double clicking on that ID. I'm going to copy that. Right click, copy on it. That tells me the ID of this field. So now that I have the ID, I can come back to my code. And I think this ID should be the same for everybody. So I don't think it's different on your computer because this HTML page comes from Google servers, right? So we're pulling that name from Google servers on that page, and we just need to know what that ID is. So I'll copy that ID and I'll come back to my code and I'll say bot dot find element by, and we're going to do find element by ID. And we're going to say, hey, here's my ID. I'm going to paste this in. This is going to be open parentheses, double quotes, and there's the ID. I just pasted it in from the website, XX4UFF. And that is a method, right? We're finding this ID on this page. How about that? Now, once we find it, here's what we want to do with it. We want to do a send keys. Isn't that cool? If I type dot, we can do a whole bunch of activities, a whole bunch of methods. We're going to send keys. What we're going to send is we could send, what do you guys want to send? Let's send Colonial Heritage Festival. So those are the words we're going to type into that field. We're going to say, type these words into that field. And let's see if that works. So I'll grab my yellow arrow. I will click and drag that up to this line because we've already done this line up here. We know that this is open. It's right here. I'm going to click this yellow arrow, drag it up here, please. Oh, I was in break mode. I hit a stop. Oh, it's not there? It probably stopped running. You could do, if you do stop here, it'll close that Chrome window again. And if you put the stop above this, kind of where we're at right now, and run it again, it'll open the Chrome and it will stop right there. And then I can click and drag on that yellow arrow. I can move my stop around here. I'll move it back down here, kind of where I was at. Now I've got the yellow arrow on this send keys method. If I click on F8, or if I come up here to debug and I do step into, it'll run that line. And we should see these words inside of that field. So I've run that line. I'll come back to my tab, and there it is right there. Colonial Heritage Festival. Boom, baby. Isn't that amazing? We are controlling Chrome with VBA. Feel it? You feel that? I'm so sorry, Grace. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Chris. Oh, really? You might have to do it. If I right click inside of that field and click on inspect, um, it comes up with a whole bunch of HTML, right? This is basically the whole page here. And sometimes I have to do it a second time to narrow in. And when I do it the second time, it highlights this part right here in blue. That's probably the hardest part, is to try to figure out where on the page is this element, right? Or is this input? This is an input form field. It's an input field, and it has this ID, it has a name, it has this class. So yeah, I'm going to identify it by the ID, and that's how we find it. Is that helpful? Okay, great. Okay, so we have this now. What's the next step? Well, we just need to come down and click on this advanced search, right? Click on this search so we can get the response. We need to search for that. We could do some other stuff if we wanted to. If we wanted to really fine search, we could come to another field and put in some other text. At this point, let's figure out where is this advanced search. So if I right click on advanced search, click on inspect, it's highlighted this down here. So now this is saying this is the button for the web page. And unfortunately, I do not see an ID or a name here. So in this case, let's use the class. Let's use the class. In fact, we'll just use like this part of the class, JFK dash button, as our identifier. And we'll use that to find the element on the page and then to click it, right? That's really what we're doing here. So we're finding the button and then we're going to click it. So I'm going to copy this JFK dash button, and I'll come underneath the element of where we sent our search terms. And let's do another find. We'll do bot. Actually, let's create an element. Bless you. Let's create an element here so that we can actually click on it, because the click activity is the method of an object, and we need a different object for that. So I'm going to come back up to the very top. I'm going to dim another variable. This is an element object. Dim elem as web element. And that will reset my project. Now that we have an element set up, I can come down here and say set element equal to bot dot find element, and we want to do by class, because it was the class. Let's see, where's my, oh, it closed. It was the class that we could see on the Google Advanced Search. That was the name that we copied, JFK dash button. It was the class. So I'll type that in here, JFK. Let's see, did I copy it? I think I did. JFK dash button. That's what we want to find. And we want to set that element to be ELEM, which is the object I set up here. So set elem equals to bot.findElement by class, and this is the name of the class. Once I do that, and I've found it, so let's see if I've done that. Can I run this? And it opens Chrome. It types in the Colonial Heritage Festival as the search terms, and the last step here is to click it. So I do lm.click. That's the method of that object. If I drag my yellow bar up, if I execute that, it should click and it says I'm a robot. Whoa, what's this? I'm not a robot, and it does the search. I think that's because so many of us are on the search right now that it's like, wait a minute, are you a real person? It's checking for that. And you could check for that too if you needed to. But it's done the search. So what we've done is we have created a Chrome browser. We've gone to this website. We've found the field of the search term field. We've put in these search terms. We found the button and we clicked on the button. And we got some search results. That is pretty cool. If I were to do this one more time, let's see if it doesn't show me the, no, it does. So it keeps showing me that. That's interesting. Question?
You have to set, like, you know, like, just do the block, I'll find out the class.
I wanted to show you about the element. You'll need the element in the project. Is there an object that says, could you do bot.click?
You know, I've just done block, dot find my class, that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a bot.click action. Yeah, I don't think that exists.
Like, no, but just like you take out set with equals, just that line, dot click it.
Oh, right here. Let's try it. It doesn't think I'm human. Let me rerun this. Let me stop the code here, close that, rerun this. Punches it in. Wow. That works. I think that works too. Nice. Yep, that search button definitely works. Very cool. Okay, any other questions?
You put here at not start.
Oh, did you reboot? That's what I had too, but I had to reboot. I know, that's what I was thinking. Do I really want to reboot? Yeah. Other questions? Okay, let me check my, is it really 3?